show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Bass in your face. Bass in your face.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it's called Uncommon Sense, because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And I see we got a couple of comments. Okay. Good evening, Have a Time Funk. And let me just state for the record that she has her own channel. So I'm going to actually show some love, check out her content and subscribe. Okay, well, you know what? Things happen, visions. I'm sorry that you're not going to be able to hop on, but it's okay. And of course, Visions of Asia also has her own channel where she produces a lot of, common sense content. So I'm going to ask you to please show some love and support her channel. Okay. I also have another channel called Latina Diaspora, where I talk about issues pertaining to Latinos in the United States. There is, in the description, a link to that channel. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who've already subscribed to the channel, whether you've been there from the very beginning or just recently joined. I really appreciate your continued support. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices and those who watch from the clouds, even the haters. So what I'm going to ask you to do, if you have not done so already, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notifications to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on playback. And as you can see by the thumbnail, the topic for tonight is the insanity of fat pride. So basically, I'm going to be talking about those who are in the fat pride movement who think that being several hundred pounds overweight is considered a flex. It is not a flex in any way, shape, or form. And I'm sorry that Vicious wouldn't be able to cop on. I know she had expressed her point of view regarding the morbidly obese people who think that it's a flex for them and that there should be special privileges based on people who are morbidly obese. But perhaps another time she can always pop on. But in any case, before we get into the main topic, we're going to have another round of In One Words. Now, of course, one of the biggest news is the fact that Sean P. Diddy Combs has been arrested by the authorities, and he was denied bail. And the accusations that are being raised against him are serious, which has to do with sexual assault, abort, and sexual exploitation regarding males and females. Okay. He did try to get bail and he offered to pay as much as $50 million in bail in order to be free, well, not free, but to be not incarcerated during the length of the trial. He was denied. So that means he's going to be spending um, most of his time behind bars for who knows how long it's going to be before this case goes to court and it goes to its final outcome, whether the person is declared innocent or guilty. And one thing, if you know anything about the prison culture, uh, they look upon people who are perpetrators of sexual assault, whether it be against children, whether it be against women, whether it be against people who are disadvantaged. Okay, they don't look at that very kindly. So that means P Diddy is going to have to watch his back all the time, or else certain individuals might try to seek their own brand of retribution against him. I don't know if he's innocent. I don't know if he's guilty. But I do know is he's going to have a rough time for whatever length of time that he's going to be incarcerated until the day of the trial, and then after the trial. Um, I would not. I would not want to be in his shoes for any stretch of the imagination. So the next thing I want to discuss is, of course, is the controversy regarding the Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, eating dogs, eating cats, geese, and all sorts of pets from the residents. And talking about that these patients are undocumented. Okay. First of all, they are documented. Okay. In fact, they were offered employment, um, which many of them accepted, and many of them are productive members of society. Now, what would be controversy because, uh, first of all, you had a Republican candidate who stated as fact that these Haitian people actually ate the cow, dogs, and cats and other animals. Okay. Now, in one of Latin Splaining TV streams, my friend Denise Gonzalez made light of the fact that Haitians in Haiti have been known to eat cats. Not only Haitians been known to eat cats, but Dominicans have known to eat cats, and also um, Chileans are known to eat cats. And she presented her evidence in regard to that hypothesis. Whether or not they do, um, some might, okay, particularly Haiti, because Haiti is a very poor country and they don't have the resources, so people are going to eat what, consume whatever they can in order to survive. However, there have been certain people that have been in an uproar regarding that. And what I will say is the following: if it doesn't apply, let it fly. Now, I'm not saying her I'm not saying that her hypothesis is correct. I'm not saying it is not correct. Okay. What I am stating is everyone has the right to articulate a point of view. Okay. And if that person is able to provide factual information, okay, you have basically two choices. You can either argue evidence that states the contrary, that Haitians do not eat cats and dogs and geese and what have you. Okay, that's one option. The other option is not to say anything at all and does not consume the content. Okay, but to have people going off the deep end and getting, emotional. Okay, let me make this perfectly clear. Anytime that you have to resort to emotion, anytime that you have to resort to name calling, you already lost the argument there. Okay, because unfortunately, not everyone can debate or argue with facts. And I'm going to cite, and this is a perfect example of what I mean. 2 years ago on my stream, we kind of had a debate regarding COVID-19, at which Denise reached the hypothesis that the COVID-19 pandemic was over. I presented my case, which is not. Okay, we both presented evidence to support our claims. And then when everything is said and done, I had to conclude that Denise was correct and I was wrong. And I state so admittedly. Okay. I did not attack Denise. I did not get emotional with Denise. I just simply argued, okay, actually, I just simply presented my evidence. And Denise did a better job. Okay? It is that simple, folks. Okay? If you know in your heart of hearts that debate is not your strong point, you may want to think twice before getting involved in the debate. You can express an opinion, okay, and that's perfectly fine. You can also, if you don't like a person's content, is change the channel. Okay, go to another channel. I mean, there are literally hundreds of thousands of people that produces content here at these YouTube streets. But to be going on and getting emotional about it and actually resorting to name calling, I'm sorry. The minute that you do that, you lost. Okay. Which reminds me of the debate that Denise had with another person known as Chi Chi, of which he demanded proof from Denise stating that she was Hispanic, and her argument was she didn't have to provide proof. And then she articulated how she used her platform to help our community. Unfortunately, Chi Chi lost it and he became emotional, and then he started going on and getting into personal attacks and homonyms, and things of that nature. So obviously, Chi Chi was not able to debate without going into emotion and name calling. Okay. So the moral of the lesson is if you have to resort to name calling and get emotional person, just stop and call it a good day. Okay. And one more thing before we get into the main topic. Actually, two things. Mondays, I'm going to be devoting on different topics that's Christian oriented. Of course, I'm going to try my best to explain it in a way that doesn't come across as condescending, but explaining my rationale. And I know that Denise have had some difficulty, schedule difficulty regarding her stream regarding Project 2025. I believe it's going to be on tonight. Hopefully, it will be on. I'm sure it's going to be, she'll have some interesting things to say when it comes to Project 2025. So, with that being said, we're going to get into the main topic. Now, before I continue, let me just state for the record that the link to join the panel has been pinned. At any time, anyone wishes to hit that link and join the panel and express a point of view regarding the topic, they can do so. Again, let me make this also perfectly clear. If I have never seen you before or heard from you before, I will insist that you come up in the backstage to make sure that no one tries to flash anything inappropriately, which would cause the people of YouTube to take down this stream. Now, this is a personal matter for me, okay? First of all, as of course all of you know, I have been morbidly obese most of my life. And it's been a struggle, first to lose the weight, gain the weight, gain it back, lose the weight, gain the weight back. Okay. So far, I've managed to lose 50 pounds in, I would say, a year and 3 quarters. Okay. And of course, there were many more motivational factors why I did that. Mainly is I wanted to live as healthy as I can. But when it comes to dealing with the fat pride movement, they hold the belief that you can weigh several hundred pounds and be healthy. I disagree. Because first of all, you're putting a lot of pressure on your heart. You're putting a lot of pressure on your lungs. You're putting pressure on your joints that has to support all that weight. Okay? And there have been people who have gained a huge amount of weight to the extent that they cannot even leave the apartment because they're so big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. Just give me a moment. Okay. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to discover what is the fat acceptance movement. And of course, it is known under a couple of names. Okay, the fat acceptance movement, also known as various other names such as fat pride, fat empowerment, fat liberation, and fat activism, is a social movement which seeks to eliminate the social stigma of obesity. Areas of contention include the extended legal and medical approaches to fat people. In the modern fat acceptance movement began in the late 1960s. Besides its political role, the fat acceptance movement also constitutes a subculture which acts as a social group for its members. The fat acceptance movement has been criticized for not adding value to the debate over human wealth, with some critics accusing the movement of promoting a lifestyle that can have dire health consequences. And I believe it was George Orwell that brought up this interesting point, is how many people who are in the fat acceptance movement are my age? And the answer is none, because many of them have passed away due to the medical health conditions that brought on by being several hundred pounds overweight. So let's have a little history regarding this topic. The history of the fat acceptance movement can be dated back to 1967, when 500 people met in New York Central Park to protest against anti-fat bias. Sociologist Charlotte Cooper has argued that the history of the fat activist movement is best understood in ways similar to the feminist movement, in which she believes is closely tied. Cooper believes that fat activists have suffered through similar ways of activism, followed by burnout with activists in the following way often unaware of the history of the movement, resulting in a lack of continuity. So apparently there was several waves of this movement. The first wave activists consisted of isolated activists drawing attention to the dominant model of obesity and challenging as it's the only one of several possible models. During the early part of the 20th century, obesity was seen as detrimental to the community via decreasing human efficiency, and that obese people interfere with labor productivity in the coastal areas of the United States. This kind of political climate was the background of fat acceptance movement, which originated in the late 1960s. Like social movements from this period, the fat acceptance movement, initially known as fat pride or fat power or fat liberation, often consists of people acting in impromptu fashion. A fat-in was staged in New York Central Park in 1967. Called by radio personality Steve Post, the fat-in consisted of a group of 500 people eating, carrying signs, and photographs of Trigger, a model famous for her thin figure, and burning diet books. In 1962, Lou Lauterbach wrote an article in the Saturday Evening Post called "More People Should Be Fat" in response to discrimination against his wife. The article led to a meeting between Lauterbach and William Fabre, who went on to found the first organization for fat people and their supporters, originally named the National Association to Aid Fat Americans, and currently called the National Association to Advance Fat Acceptance, NAAFA. NAAFA was founded in America in 1969 by Bill Fabre in response to discrimination against his wife. He primarily attended this campaign for fat rights, however. A reporter attending the 2001 NAAFA conference noted that few attendees were active in fat rights politics and that most of the women that came shop for fashion were on the conference catwalk or met a potential party. Interesting. So I'm not going to read the entire article per se, because. But let's jump ahead. Good evening, Irby. Thank you very much for stopping by. So the topic for tonight is the insanity of fat pride. Okay. So basically, I'm going to be talking about why people who are into fat liberation is being delusional, and how what they're doing is creating a lot of harm, not only for themselves, for those who follow them and strive to follow their example. Yeah. In 1979, Carol Shaw coined the term Big Beautiful Women and launched a fashion and lifestyle magazine in the same name aimed at plus size women. The original print magazine ceased publication in May 2003 but continued in various online formats. The term BBW has become widely used to refer to any fat woman, sometimes in a derogatory way. Several other periodicals focus on fashion and lifestyle for fuller figure were published in print from the 1980s and mid-2010s. From 1984 to 2000, Radiance, The magazine for large women was published in print to support women of all sizes living in powerful, active lives at whatever weight and with self love and self respect. Now, let me just state this: I have no problem with people having, a healthy self esteem. I have a problem when people are like several hundred pounds overweight and treating it as is it something to flex about. So that's the first wave. The second wave, the fat acceptance movement became more widespread in the US and started to spread in other countries. Ideas from the movement began to appear in the mainstream. Publishers became more willing to publish fat acceptance in literature. In the 1980s witnessed an increased activism, publication, and conferences. Yeah. Now the third wave, yep, believe it or not, there's more than one wave of this movement. The fat acceptance movement has been seen a diversification of projects with the way activities have been addressed issues both fat and race, class, sexuality, and other issues. Size discrimination is being increasingly addressed in the arts as well. Now we're going to be talking about discrimination. Okay. First of all, let me make this perfectly clear. It's one thing that you're being criticized and discriminated based on your ethnicity, your sex, your sexual orientation, birth defects, yes, your status, also how you wish to identify as far as gender fluidity. It's another thing when you claim discrimination because you're fat, which is something you can do by simply losing the weight. I know it's not easy. Believe me, I fought the battle of the budge for most of my life, but it can be done once you apply discipline. Fat people experience different kinds of discrimination because of weight. This discrimination appears in healthcare, employment, education, personal relationships, and the media. Fat individuals also argue in clothing stores discriminate against them. For example, someone have a complaint that one size fits all stores, which offers a single size for each item, do not cater to those above a certain weight. Now, the other next issue is health. Fat activists argue that anti-fat stigma and aggressive diet promotion had led to an increase in psychological and psychological problems among fat people. For instance, individuals experiencing weight discrimination have reported facing more psychological distress, more loneliness, and lower well-being. Along with this, weight discrimination can heighten risk of obesity, chronic inflammation, and disease burden. People can indulge in health risk behaviors such as avoiding physical activity, experience and internalizing weight stigma are identified as critical risk factors to eating pathology. Concern also raised that modern culture focuses on weight does not have a foundation in scientific research, but sample of using science as a means to control deviance as part of society's attempt to do something that finds disturbing. Diet critics cite the high value failure rate of permanent weight loss attempts and the dangers of yo-yo weight fluctuations and weight loss surgeries. Fat activists argued that the health issues of obesity and being overweight have been exaggerated or misrepresented, and the health issues are used to cover a cultural and aesthetic prejudices against fat. Um, it's been proven when you are morbidly obese, you have multiple health issues, problems with your heart, problems with diabetes, problems with your joints. Okay, there are multiple issues. So now we're going to be talking about gender. The issue faced by fat women in society has been a central theme of the fat acceptance movement since its inception, although the first organization, National Association Against Fat Acceptance, and the first book, Fat Power, both created by men in each case were responses to weight discrimination experienced by their wives. Women soon started campaigning on their behalf with the first feminist group. The Fat Underground was formed in 1973. Issues addressed becoming women who included body image and a particular thin ideal and its effect on women. Okay. Now regarding men, the fat acceptance movement has been primarily focused on feminist model of patriarchal oppression of fat women, most clearly represented by the encouragement of women to diet. However, Sandra G. Gilman argues that until the 20th century, diet what has historically been a man's activity. He continues, obesity eats away at the ideal image of a masculine male just as surely does the ideal image of the feminine. Wilmer Bentley was the author of the 1860 book called Letter on Corpulence, which modern diets have used as a model. Men respond to being overweight differently, having a body mass index of 25 or more as being likely as women to die. A quarter of them devoted weight loss surgery and only report feeling shame about their weight. So now we're just going to hop on. Now, when it comes to legislation, okay, in the 1970s, fat people in the United States began seeking legal redress for discrimination based on weight, primarily in the workforce, but also being denied access to or being treated in regards to services or anything. The result of these cases varied considerably, although some instances the American with Disability Act (ADA) has been successfully used to argue the cases against discrimination against fat people. Roth and Soloway argued that with transgender people, a major cause for variance of success is the extent which litigants are apologetic for their size, with more apologetic plaintiffs finding more resources. Good evening, Georgia. Yeah, I see it. You have people now will literally say you're being racist for being supposedly fat phobic. First of all, that's not the case. But of course, we know people when they cannot argue an issue tolerantly, they're going to get into their emotions. Okay, so miss me with that. Okay, I am a morbidly obese person who have decided to take action to deal with my problem because I want to live as long as I can, being that my body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. The last thing I want to do is wreck my temple by having my they carry huge amounts of weight, which was not meant to carry in the first place. Let's see. Won't be surprised if someone targets you at your job because your city is trying to pass anti-fat water ordinances. Um, they could try to get me fired. Okay. I happen to belong to a very strong union, and I do have a reputation of being a professional person. So they can try. The American with Disabilities Act continues to be used as there is no U.S. federal law against weight discrimination. Yeah, well, it's not surprise. I mean, yeah, there was this. They will listen to this video and say you are being a racist. Okay, well, yeah, whatever. Let me check and see if there's anyone in the backstage. No. Okay, let's see, what was I? City of Washington, D.C., San Francisco, Santa Cruz, Binghamton, Urban, and New York, and Madison have also passed laws prohibiting weight discrimination. In the cities where have weight discrimination law is rare that more than one case a year is be brought up, except in San Francisco, which may have as many as six. Opinions among city enforcement workers are very wide. Prosecution numbers are so low, although they suggest that both overweight people and employers are unaware of protected legislation and also know that cities with anti-weight discrimination laws tend to be liberal college towns. Okay. Now, there are studies, okay. There also has been emerging body of academic studies called fat studies. Marilyn Wan argues that fat studies move beyond being an individual endeavor of being a field study with the 2004 conference Fat Attitudes, an examination of American subculture and the representation of the female body. The American Popular Culture Association regularly includes panels on such in many colleges. Student groups with their fat activity agenda have emerged, including Hampshire, Smith, and Antioch. Fat studies are now available as an interdisciplinary course study at some colleges, taking similar approach to other identities such as women's studies, queer studies, and African American studies. Okay, I'm not going to read this. Okay, but I am going to talk about the criticism. The fat acceptance movement has been criticized from several perspectives. The primary criticism that the fat acceptance ignores studies that have shown that link to obesity and has encouraged an unhealthy lifestyle. In 2008, Lily Raglan, a writer, musician, and former fat acceptance activist, interviewed multiple women claimed to be rejected by their peers within the movement and labeled them traitors when they changed their diets. And we're going to stop talking here. Excuse me. And let me just state for the record, Jojo has his YouTube channel, which he produces quality content. So I'm going to ask that you show some love to him, check out his content, and subscribe. Now, let me make this perfectly clear. I'm not saying this out of anger regarding this group of people. What I'm trying to do is trying to bring some reality into this discussion. Okay? And the fact of the matter is, when you are morbidly obese, you are encouraging multiple issues to occur. Issues regarding heart conditions, issues regarding diabetes, issues regarding your joints, issues regarding being susceptible to multiple issues. And as a person that's fought the battle of the bulge, believe me, you are not doing your body any favors for being several hundred pounds, okay? And, TLC has this so-called reality TV program called 600-Pound People, okay? And when you see these individuals, it really is sad when you think about it. When people have gained so much weight that they cannot get out of bed, that they cannot bathe for themselves, okay? They cannot move, and basically they're gonna have to depend on other people to take care of them. That is not a good thing. Okay. In fact, I remember there was a story regarding this lady weighed several hundred pounds and she was trapped inside her apartment because she couldn't get out of bed, and they had to begin the fire department together. Well, I mean, unfortunately, you have people who let themselves go to that extent, which is really sad when you think about it. Really sad. So I'm just going to share one more article. Now, I'm probably going to be talking for a few minutes. This stream will probably last than 90 minutes. Um, Now I'm going to share my screen. Just give me a moment. So I came across this article from this website called Slate. Um, just give me a moment because cool. That fat pride movement. As you can see here, there's a picture of a person. Looks like she's like good 250. Okay. A recent column in The Guardian opens a headline that can only assume so shock readers, even though it confirms countless society clues. It is not okay to be fat. In a brave challenge to excuse me, that's the last thing I need is a pop-up ad. Sorry. To a particularly dangerous contingent of body positive movement that has taken things a step too far. Writer and editor Lizzie Cernak asserts that the Overton window of acceptance self-love can all be expanded to include so many bodies. She writes that the body acceptance movement was fine when it was simply empowering women of non-body proportions to feel good about themselves. But now we're expected not only to harass fat people about their health, but it's time to put a foot on the brake. Founded by plus size models and social media influence, fat acceptance movement aims to normalize obesity, letting everyone know that it's fine to be fat. She writes, with terms like straight size and fat pride, population of influential figures are now linking the valid concerns of health officials to hate crimes. Yeah, I believe me. I share your sentiments exactly. So we will continue. Then she goes on to berate comedian Sophie Hagen, who recently accused a British charity of fat shaming after they launched a campaign that cited obesity as the most preventable cause of cancer after smoking. Admonishing Hagen's expletive laden tweets, Cernak makes sure to say that bullying is never right before reverting to her overreaching argument that fat pride is somehow promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. There are a few mistaken assumptions here. The first is fat pride movement agenda, or really any pride-based movement, somehow about promoting or representing specific lifestyle. The assumption is one explicit indignation questions like, what would I tell my children if they see X person living their life in public? The obvious answer is that the question is to tell your child that person who, like all people, deserves to live their life without our commentary. Okay, I'm just going to skip and go to the next paragraph. Of course, fat people aren't trying to encourage people to become fat. They're trying to live a life with dignity. If you've never been fat, it's hard to understand the various ways in which your body stops becoming, once you reach a certain weight. It becomes an object for public consumption and comment or ridicule. Strangers feel obligated to tell you that you're going to die early or give diet tips to scrutinize every meal under the guise of patronized concern for your health. And that's despite the fact that contrary to scientific skepticism, there are nowhere near scientific consensus that fat always equal unhealthy. Excuse me, I beg to differ. No, okay, like I said, look, I have no problem if a person has a healthy self-esteem. But the problem is this with these individuals, they want to argue that being several hundred pounds, okay, does not cause health issues. It does, okay. It can, first of all, it has issues regarding diabetes, the cardiac concerns. There's concern about the joints, the weakening of your joints, okay. And if you continue to gain weight without any efforts to try to lose some weight, you're going to become to the into the stage when you're unable to move unassisted. Okay, and people, believe it or not, actually try to treat this as a flex. I respectfully disagree. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you one more thing. Um, just give me a moment. Now, I'm going to play a video called Fat Liberation. Okay. And with that, unless anyone wishes to opine, um, I'll probably wrap this up. This is a video. It's cringy, but just to give you an idea. So now as soon as the image appear, yeah, yeah. Just give me a moment. Okay.
So raise a flag and let's burn it all down.
Angry fat people? What? Did you think we were done? LOL. So here's the problem with the diet culture bus. It says that there's something inherently wrong with us, telling you that your body's not right, even moralizing health is not a clean fight. It's ableist food, but you do you. I guess you run with a eugenics crew. Let's slim down our bodies for the nation state. The master race is only big on weight. The diet and weight loss industrial complex brings in 70 billion a year. And you better believe that fat liberation for once gives them something to fucking fear. Fat people do not owe you their health. We do not have equal access to wealth, employment, housing, healthcare provider. Let's burn down the system. Sis, hand me that lighter. Your doctor tells you to lose weight for your health. You're entitled to ask about the efficacy of a diet. Hippocrates said, doc first, do no harm. So no, we're not going to be fucking quiet.
Liberation, that's you. So raise a flag and let's burn it all down. Liberation, that's you. So burn the scale and just put on the crown.
Picture the before and after body. Put your commitment to equality in the potty. If you care more about the likes than the human toll. Yes, you've lost the weight, now you can lose the soul. You're asking for validation for conforming or seeking that celebration for performing. Subservience to patriarchy, capitalist traps while white supremacy is chilling in your fucking lap. FAT to the LIV. If my sister's in chains, then I cannot be free. The trauma is amplified for POC. Intersectional oppression live in 3D. We demand humanity, autonomy, respect. From the body hierarchy, we continue to defect. Their body, her body, your body, mine. This body, somebody's lucky to find.
Liberation, that's you. So raise a flag and let's burn it all down. Liberation, that's you. So burn the scale and just put on the crown. I just want you all to see that your frequent dieting doesn't mean morality. I just want you all to see that before and aftering doesn't mean you are a queen. That you're not better than me. That you're not better than me.
Fat-free bodies should not be radical. Diet culture, please take a sabbatical. We're on to you and your little tricks. We know when you're trying to sell a new fix.
Fat liberation, that's you. So raise a flag and let's burn it all down. Fat liberation, that's you. So burn the scale and just put on your crown. Fat liberation, fat liberation,
The words, fuck!
liberation, that's
Yeah. Now, I don't know if, I mean, I would say in a cringe factor of a scale of 1 to 10, this is like a 30. And they're equating the discrimination that they experience compared to the discrimination regarding the LGBTQ plus community. Excuse me, that their discrimination is similar to those of the African American community or the Latino community or the Haitian community or the biracially mixed community. Excuse me, miss me with that bull crap. And actually, I wanted to say something else, but I'm not going to go there. Yeah. I mean, look. What I'm going to say is the following. They are entitled to their opinion. It is an opinion, okay? That and $2.90 will give you a ride in the subway. Okay? I'm sorry. I live in reality. Okay? I know if I don't do anything to try to lose the weight, now that I'm approaching 62, what's going to happen is I'm going to have multiple health issues and I'm going to die prematurely. Okay? And again, I think Georgia made a very good point, which is there are no people in the fat acceptance movement that are my age. Why? Because unfortunately, people have died, okay, because they want to cling on to the belief, well, hey, you can be 800 pounds and be healthy. Hey, you can be 900 pounds and be sexy. Hey, you can be 1,000 pounds and nothing's going to happen to you. And that people are supposed to like give you like additional seats for free on on the flight to account for your morbid obesity, that they have to like structure, build hotels in extra space because basically you are too bloody fat to get around when you can actually diet, okay, when you can lose the weight. Miss me with that pathetic. I'm just trying to find the words for it. I can't even describe it at this point. And unfortunately, I wish Visions was here so she can give her input. But, the show must go on. Okay. And I'm going to state one more time. The link has been pinned. Should anyone wishes to hit the link and express their opinion regarding this topic, they can do so. Okay. Maybe you think I'm not being logical. Maybe you think I'm being racist, or maybe you think I'm being fat phobic. You are entitled to your opinion. I truly believe that when it comes to these issues, you need to speak truthfully. Okay. And this is kind of like tough love in a way. Um, and what gets me is that the delusion regarding those who think it's nothing wrong to be 600 pounds and it's nothing wrong that you gain so much weight that you can't even get out of bed. Now, I see here we have. Now, let me just state for the record that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host on the channel. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to your image. Some of the views people hold may be considered offensive to some viewers. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. And now we're going to bring in our guest. Good evening.
Very good evening. How are you doing?
So, what's
Man,
up
I
tonight?
just, well, I just went up and I ate my sixth bucket of KFC, man. And I have to say this, it's just it was just nice and everything.
Okay. So, what you doing? How you doing, Don Armando?
Well, I was just talking to the wife and everything like that. But at the same time, I was just down in my piece of KFC. You know what I mean? So that's how it is.
Well, all I can say, bon appetit, buen provecho.
Yeah, but but it, I'm like, at the end of the day, I was like, hey, since I see the insanity of anything like that, I was like, okay, let me just come with this avatar as such, because hey, I feel you on that, because there's a lot of people that they have that they pride and stuff like that. But segue into that. Remember that video that you showed me, that awful video they showed me with the woman and the guy that tried to sing like Adam Lambert. And then on top of it, that it was the nerve that they had to say that they did it in New York. That's what made it extra funny.
Well, you know what? Um, they're entitled to their opinion. Like I said, that in 290 will get you a ride on the soft ramp. But I'm sorry, but being several hundred pounds overweight is no flex.
Well, it might be a flex for Ramon. Well, I mean, the type of woman he wants now. Just joke with him. Shout out to Ramon, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like one thing I gotta say though.
Yeah.
If it's either the code or or their own 600 pound woman that you always get Ramon with, that joint be making me laugh, bro.
Well, I mean, let me tell you something. I don't know which is more cringeworthy. I mean, this or Donald Trump's assertion that the Haitians are actually eating cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio.
I mean, if you actually look at it, right? Like they eating the cats and they eating the dogs, right? And it was funny because a guy went up and made a whole song with just using Donald Trump's voice and made a beat to it and everything like that. That joint just had me laughing.
Yeah.
And and the thing is though, the person that allegedly started that rumor about the cats and the dogs, they were like, yo, I just made it up. I didn't know it was gonna blow up this bad. To the point that now the president is saying it. So what happened in Springfield, Ohio is that this guy he actually went and he did an interview with the residents and the Haitian migrants. So when they went there, they talked to the Haitian migrants and I guess
Mhm.
some of the people and stuff. They went up and they complained that okay, that the Haitians didn't know how to drive and stuff. The residents that's been there, right?
Yeah.
And then when the guy went up and interviewed the Haitians, they was like, we don't eat no cats or dogs. So I don't know where they're getting that. We're just trying to work. But then you have the residents of Springfield, Ohio, that was actually saying a whole bunch of racist stuff and what have you.
Yeah.
So it was not only when I say racist stuff, it was not only white people, it was not only Latino people. You even had certain people who were black who was pissed off because of that. Because you had certain people who were military veterans and then they have to wait online because their benefits is cut off. But yet the people who are migrants are getting the first dibs. And he's like, this is not right.
Hmm.
So
Well, actually, our friend Denise is going to be doing her next episode of Piss Off Mondays. Is happy to do the controversy regarding um, allegedly the Haitians eating the cats and dogs over there in Springfield, Ohio. Now, she did do a video on which she did present evidence about certain groups eating cats. Okay. I'm not
right,
going to mention it because YouTube gets a little bit crazy with this selected enforcement of the guidelines. So I'm
right.
supposed I haven't gotten hit with a strike yet, but I mean, this is my thing. If it doesn't apply to you, let it fly. Number one. Number two, you have two choices. You can either try to refute it with facts or just ignore it. But to argue with emotion, what you do is when you do that, you already lost the argument. So it makes no sense for you to continue. Your thoughts? Okay.
There's certain situations that I am not addressing because, that the persons or entities are just a waste of my time.
Yes.
Now, with that said, I'm I went up and I posted something on my community tab, and the next thing you know, a certain person, a certain entity was saying that I was making fun of patients. Okay, so if you look at my community tab, I'm just making fun of the act of a person eating a cat or a dog. Where is it misconstrued that I'm hating on anything? When I'm just making a joke about cats and dogs. I
Well,
mean,
unfortunately, the problem is you have certain individuals who are not able to debate with you without getting emotional, without the name calling. Okay.
mm, yeah, I've been called a lot of names, but it's funny though.
Well, believe me, I have been called racist. Uh, I supposedly have an STD. I'm broke. I'm, no one loves me. Um, and things of that nature. I mean, that's your opinion, and I mean, if you're gonna be that foolish and actually take someone's word and never know me, I mean, there's nothing to be said.
Basically, and that's why, as I said, like in the back channel and stuff.
Yeah.
There's there's a channel which I'm not gonna say that you're not gonna really ever see my face on ever again
Mm-hmm.
because I'm doing my own stuff. And then for my thing is that I might just go and do my I might just go and on my own path and everything like that, if you would
Mm-hmm.
call it that. But be as it says, I'm not gonna go and be on a platform where there's nothing but ignorance. And then when you actually bring straight facts, it's more ignorance. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, my thing is this: if you bring facts, and then the person who will still try to reject you like they know everything, then you know what? I'm not gonna go around and do it again. I know what I am. I know what I do. And if a person is gonna go and try to misconstrue that just for their own pseudo political gain or what the heck have you, at the end of the day, what is worth debating a person that that cannot go to the respectful boundaries of a debate in the first place without name calling? They're not going to talk about the issue. Then 9 times out of 10, they want to go and make it personal. When the fact is, people who debate don't take it personal because if you're talking about a topic, you go and you stay on the topic. Those
Yeah.
are the rules for debating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And look, and and again, I think what people need to understand is, and again, folks, if it doesn't fly, let it fly. Okay. Unfortunately, you have certain individuals who, I mean, they'll get all emotional and things of that nature, and next thing you know it, they're getting pissed off and what have you, and then they're calling you everything but a child of God and what have you. And you know, it's best not to engage with such individuals. So I don't know if there's a problem with his audio or maybe they're playing
You
some
know,
music.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
go
back.
ahead.
It's just that I had to, it's back because I had to, pick up the cat and everything like that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Now I did load a short um on my channel. So let me just maybe I should just label it Cat Lives Matter.
Yeah,
Just give me
pretty
a
much.
moment. So
Mm.
just bear with me. Okay.
Yeah.
It looks like um, our friend, okay, she has pushed her string regarding Project 2025 on the Friday. So, I
Yeah.
mean, let me tell you something. One thing we have to understand that, it is time consuming to create content.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I mean,
So, what I'm
I
going
mean,
to do,
that's why I'm
sorry,
actually
yeah, go.
trying to get the rights. That's why I'm actually trying to, get the right streaming equipment and everything like that. So, as soon as I make that little investment, hopefully I'll get some more quality content, maybe on a more rapid pace, every, like maybe 2 or 5 times a week, if anything.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm just trying to show this video, but see, just give me a moment if I can just. Okay. I mean, I got to show this. Okay, just give me a moment because.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
Just give me a moment.
How about new?
Okay, this is
How
not.
about new?
No.
How about new?
Okay, I apologize. Okay, here we go.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cat.
So your thoughts?
No, no, I like the song better because they actually showed it on Instagram. That joint had me dying
Mhm.
laughing. Like they went up and made that. They made his voice a pop song, and I thought that would never happen. I was like, wow.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't. I could have loaded it, but I didn't want to get hit with a copyright strike. But
Right.
this is the. I mean, it's comical, but the fact of the matter is, in Springfield, they had to deal with bomb threats because of what Trump has said.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I just went up and I read up talking about those threats. There was a guy in West Philly that wanted to be a boom maker in I guess that in for ISIS, a boom maker because and
Hmm.
then his plan was to actually ignite those things at the Rainbow Parade in Philadelphia last June
Uh-huh.
until those alphabet boys went up and actually got him. So
Well, I'm gonna stop to wrap this up.
I hear you.
Unfortunately, Visions couldn't appear. I would have loved to hear her take because I know she produced a lot of videos addressing the insanity regarding the fat pride movement.
Yeah.
I mean, look, all I can say is this: people have four choices: not vote, vote for Kamala Harris, vote for Donald Trump, or vote for a third party candidate, or simply write their names.
Or vote for me because hey, I don't care what anybody says. I'm just trying to make America shaved again.
Well, in my case,
Imagine if that actually worked.
well, of course, my my
Yeah,
my campaign would be "Make America Cold Again" and the cat lives matter.
yeah, I know, right? No, I actually went up and I put on my stream that hey, vote for my own cat Romy for president.
Well,
Yeah.
so, anything else you want to say regarding this topic before I wrap it up?
Yes.
Hmm.
Now, if I have no offense for people who are on big bone and stuff, because you have certain people who are born that way.
Yeah.
You got certain people who are prideful about what they are because they've been how shall I say ostracized for so long. But there's a flip side to it.
Yeah.
There's a right to go around and be self confident who you are, body positivity, whatever, right?
Hmm.
But if you're actually promoting an unhealthy lifestyle and everything, I'm not actually cool with that. Because at the end of the day, if you're actually promoting your lifestyle, though, you have to go and eat this to maintain your quote unquote fat pride.
Hmm.
With that said, it's like this is actually defeating the purpose because if you're gonna have a movement, don't you want people in your movement to be better? Or if you're actually spitting out poison and telling people word salad that is poison, now you're not actually helping the situation either. So my thing is that if people are gonna be with fat pride and everything, I think they'll have to
Hmm.
sit down and reevaluate some of the stuff that they're promoting. Because if y'all gonna be with this pride and everything like that, and I'm not, and this is not for anybody who is big or anything like that, but if you're gonna go and try to promote to people that actually look up to you or influence that eating unhealthy maintains that pride, well, y'all need to go around and sit down and actually reanalyze what pride is. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're gonna go tell people about that they could have their diet, that they could do whatever, that not change the diet and such, 9 times out of 10, you're not actually promoting a positive lifestyle. You're actually promoting people unaliving each other systematically through food. And that's all I got to say.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for stopping by. And of course, people ask if you've not done so, please check out Donna Mandel's channel. Now, I'm just going to give you my final thoughts. Okay. Um, when it comes to the Fat Pride movement, they are projecting an image which is not factual. Okay, which is you can be several hundred pounds overweight and be healthy. Okay. While there is evidence that support that the human body was never meant to carry that much weight. The human heart was not constructed to work that hard. The joints were not constructed to carry that much weight. And the fact of the matter is, you expose yourself to multiple health issues and you risk the risk of shortening your lifespan to various degrees. And I have seen people that gain so much weight that they physically cannot get leave the apartment because they're trapped because of their weight. So basically, they spend all their day in bed just eating themselves to oblivion. Okay. Um, I'm not trying to be hateful. I'm just simply telling the facts. Okay. And I get it. It's not easy to lose weight, but if you are determined to eat a large quantity of food and gain hundreds of pounds, you're going to be just as determined to try to lose the weight. And just remember, it took you a long time to gain the weight. It's going to take you at least an equal amount of time to lose it. And then have the discipline to keep the weight off. I have been fortunate. I have lost 50 pounds so far, and I'm still morbidly obese. I plan to lose weight, okay, because I want to be around to enjoy my golden years. A huge shout out to everyone that appeared in the chat, and a huge shout out to all those who are watching, on the playback. Okay, so we will end this the same way we always do. We must do everything possible to avoid the presence of the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by the stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. And just as a reminder, I'll be live Friday night talking about open discussion where I'll be talking multiple topics. That being said, enjoy your evening. Take care and peace.